On this day, 10 years ago, Bafana Bafana captain Senzo Meyiwa was murdered at the home of his girlfriend, singer Kelly Khumalo, in Vosloorus. Meyiwa was shot in what witnesses have described as a robbery gone wrong. In 2020, 5 men were arrested in connection with the crime, and their trial has been dragging ever since. So far, a slew of witnesses, including neighbors, police officers, and experts, have taken to the stand, but there is still no clear sign that the case will conclude anytime soon. The 30-year-old footballer was the captain of both his club, Orlando Pirates, and the national football team when he died. And now Newzroom Africa's Mnisi has extensively covered this case and joins me now live in the studio. Linda, good morning. A very busy morning for you. First and foremost, it's been 10 years to the day since the passing of Senzo Meyiwa. This case has taken so many twists and turns. I think some people have pretty much lost interest at some point along the way, but we all want justice for Senzo Meyiwa. Give us a look back over the last 10 years of the highlights of this particular case.
Indeed, Masichama, 10 years ago today, Senzo Meyiwa drove into the Kumalo home in Vosloorus and never made it alive. Made it out alive. And from what we heard at the time, these were mysterious circumstances. Nobody really knew or could tell what exactly happened, except for the fact that those who were inside the house said it was a botched robbery. They spoke about intruders who came into the Kumalo home, demanded money and cell phones, and that's when Senzo Meyiwa was shot. But that story, was controversial in the sense that some people still did not believe that there were intruders in that particular home. There were many theories about what could have happened. I mean, one of the theories was the fact that Longwe Twala shot Senzo Meyiwa during a scuffle inside the house, while fighting with his then-girlfriend, Kumalo, who is the sister to Kelly Khumalo. But fast forward a couple of years down the line, a man by the name of Zamugutle Mbata is arrested. He others felt, the police at the time felt that he matched the description that the Kumalos gave of the intruders. He had dreadlocks, but it later turned out that this person was known to the Kumalos, and he was later released. For the first 4 years, nothing happened. During those years, the public, because this was an icon, this was a soccer star, the public put pressure. They wanted answers about Senzo Meyiwa's murder. And we heard in Parliament that the matter would now be moving to a different unit, the SAPS establishing what is called a cold case unit. The cold case unit was given this case, this docket, to continue with it. But we're learning in court today that there were differences in opinion after they studied the docket about what happened, the theories. Some investigators felt there were no intruders, others felt there were intruders, and that led to the opening of the second docket, docket 375. We've never heard of such a case before. Docket 375 is opened, and in that particular docket, the suspects are the people who were in the house, meaning the Kumalos, Senzo Meyiwa's friends, including a neighbor, Mam Megi Piri, who allegedly came into the house. And we learned through the trial that she allegedly, cleaned the scene. But later on, the NPA decides we're going to go with the initial docket, with what the lead investigator in the cold case unit believes, that there were intruders. And that led to the arrest of the 5 accused. Interesting how that even played out, because, the investigator tells the court that he had to piece in a couple of evidence, look into what was already in the docket to establish whether or not there were intruders. But later, somebody, a police officer, who happened to identify himself as a relative to some of the accused, said his father had information about what had happened that day and knows the people that killed Senzo Meyiwa. His father, later in 2019, gives a statement that implicates accused number 1 and 2. Accused number 1 and 2 allegedly depose confession statement in which they detail their alleged involvement, and that's when the name of the alleged mastermind, Kelly Khumalo, came through. We heard it for the very first time in this trial during, the confession statement, in which they alleged that she contracted the killers to go and kill Senzo Meyiwa on that particular day.
Now, Linda, there have been reports that the arrest of Kelly Khumalo is imminent. How true is this?
Well, at this point, we cannot confirm, it's not yet confirmed. But what we do know about that specifically is that when the police were investigating and found alleged links between Kelly Khumalo and the 5 men that are on trial, they found cell phone links, alleged cell phone links. They found pictures. One of the pictures contained a bag of money that was also found in Kelly Khumalo's phone, where we're told by the investigating officer in court. But also, interestingly, the same picture is now found in Longwe Twala's phone, which then, of course, is puzzling at this point, because this is for the first time. A few weeks ago, I think just last week, we heard that. But we know where Kelly Khumalo is concerned that she has not been charged, but a warrant of arrest was issued. And all the police or the NPA needs to do is to just sign it. A warrant of arrest was released for Kelly Khumalo in this particular matter, but it was not signed, because this, we're hearing, was an NPA-led investigation. So they wanted the investigators to go and find more before they could arrest Kelly Khumalo. Of course, it's speculation that she could possibly be arrested, but we know that the state will also not be calling her. They are labeling her as the alleged mastermind who orchestrated and ordered a hit for Senzo Meyiwa.
A question that has been widely asked, especially via social media, by the public, is when will Kelly Khumalo take the stand?
The state has indicated, Chaba, that they will not be calling Kelly Khumalo. It emerged perhaps what the reasons could be. One could draw an inference around why they don't want to call her, because now they've labeled her the alleged mastermind, the person who wanted Senzo Meyiwa dead. In fact, the lead investigator said Kelly Khumalo wanted Senzo Meyiwa dead as early as 2013, and he cites the conversations that she allegedly had with her sister Zandi Kumalo, in which she indicated that she regretted not having gotten rid of him or not succeeding the first time. So he says it's clear that she wanted him dead as early as 2013. But at this point, Kelly Khumalo is not an accused person in this matter. If anything, she remains a complainant in the docket, although through investigations they are saying that she allegedly ordered this hit.
That is all very confusing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you are a very busy man today. Tell us what your day looks like and what can we expect from today's special broadcast at 5 p.m.
Yeah. So today we're going to be looking back and tracing some of the steps of Senzo Meyiwa on this particular day. We know that in the early evenings he arrived in Kutlanong Street, arriving at Kelly Khumalo's house. There they were sitting, they were watching a football match, and we heard through witnesses that Kelly Khumalo's mother was cooking. At some point, he left the house with Kelly to go and buy soup at a nearby shop. They came back, and it was at around the 9 o'clock hour that the alleged intruders came into the house. And at that particular time, that's when they allegedly asked for cell phones and money, and there was a scuffle. Senzo Meyiwa was shot. Interestingly, is that the interesting element about this case is, the discovery of the firearm, Chaba, how it was discovered. It was a couple of years down the line. Accused number 3 had been arrested in a separate matter in 2015, and later on, they then discovered that the firearm that was involved in that particular shooting that he was arrested for may have been involved in the Meyiwa case. And when police went to the Cleveland police station, they found it in an open seal bag. And what they're telling the court is that it was ready for destruction, meaning that it was going to be destroyed, which is one of the critical pieces of evidence in this particular case. Of course, the defense is fighting that, saying that there could have been irregularities in obtaining that firearm. But according to the state at this point, they're saying that this firearm was discovered in that way because it was going to be destroyed. And had it been destroyed at the time, it could have really hampered the investigations at this point, and how they, amongst others, linked the accused to the murder. But we spoke to the family about how they're feeling. I think this case, Chaba, over and above the murder, has sort of clouded Senzo's legacy. We forgot about
That's
the
what I was
person.
saying.
Yeah.
I was saying this just earlier to say, you know, I just cannot wait for the day that the truth comes out so that we can finally move forward. Justice can be served so we can actually focus on his legacy.
Yeah. This case has clouded his legacy. Others cite some of the decisions that Senzo Meyiwa made. We all know he was a married man involved with Kelly Khumalo. A baby was then conceived at the time. So a lot of what happened in the last part of his life really hangs as a cloud over his legacy and his name. So we visited the family in KwaZulu-Natal, and they told us about Senzo growing up and his dreams and how he loved his family, wanted everybody to succeed. Immediately when he succeeded, helping even families around Umlazi, where he grew up, young people that aspired to be footballers. But also, one of the interesting elements, this case has taken a toll on the family. What has it been like for the past 10 years? The family at some point was divided, but now they're getting along. I saw Senzo's mother, who's slightly older than the last time we saw her on screen.
How is she?
And she is such a warm person, very welcoming. She welcomed us into her home. And the first thing that she says when she saw me was, "I see you in court all the time, but I've stopped watching. I've stopped watching." And, it's one of the things that, one looks back and says, had it not been for the delays in this case, this lady would have gotten justice. His father died a sad man. But interestingly, going forward, what does this look like? What does it look like for them as a family? Swiso tells me that they now believe that these are not the right guys. So what does justice look like for them? And what does, their belief that these are not the guys do for their relationship with Kelly Khumalo?
What does justice look like for them?
Essentially, what they are hoping will happen in this case is that the time will come when the right people will be held accountable for Senzo Meyiwa's murder. They believe this investigation did not yield the results or the truth that they know. That they believe they know, which is that the people in the house, one of the people in the house, killed Senzo Meyiwa. And their relationship, for example, with Kelly Khumalo has taken a strain over these things. And what Senzo Meyiwa tells me is that they are open to speaking to Kelly Khumalo. They want a relationship with her daughter. I think let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Ngihlezi ngibuka ngisho amavidiyo akho uKelly lapha ngimbuka ukuthi ngonanezithombe zakhe la hlezi ngimbuka ngiyafisa ukuthi sigcine esazi agcine esazi somndeni azi nezingane ezinye zonke azi wonke umuntu la ekhaya naye futhi khona sewafona la afonela uma ethaba kaKhumalo bafisa ukuthi balethe uThingo uma wangifonela ngathi awuyazi kade phela umuntu ayikhulekela leyo nto.
Yeah, so, I mean, he speaks about how he's open to speaking to Kelly Khumalo. He believes that she was not involved in the murder of his brother and is hoping that one day, he says, one day, I know and I believe that we will find each other with the Kumalos.
Wow, that's beautiful. Linda, thank you so much for your incredible work. I look forward to the special broadcast at 5 p.m. We'll all be watching.